video, we'll discuss about permutation in string. First, let's understand the question. Given two strings S1 and S2, return true if S2 contains a permutation of S1 or false otherwise. In other words, return true if one of S1's permutations is the substring of S2. So what they are saying is, we are given these two strings S1 and S2. S1 is AB and S2 is EIDBAOOO. So we need to check that is there any permutation of S1 that occurs as a substring in S2. If it is, then we have to return true, otherwise we have to return false. Now what is a permutation? So a permutation is nothing but an arrangement of the characters in the string while keeping the original characters intact. Meaning, let's suppose I have a string A, B, C. Now it is having three characters A, B and C. Now these characters' positions can be rearranged to form different strings, right? So if I say this ABC, one arrangement for this is ABC, another arrangement can be ACB, another one can be BAC, next can be BCA, next can be CAB, and the next permutation can be CBA. So after we rearranged the positions of the characters in our string, we got these many different strings. So these strings are known as the permutations. Okay, these are the permutations of this string, right? And here the length of ABC was 3. And how many permutations did we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 permutations we got, right? So now there is a formula that if a string is of length n, then its number of permutations will be n factorial. So that's why here the string length was 3. So the factorial of 3 is 6. That's why the permutation is 6. The number of permutations are 6. Now similarly we have AB. AB can be written as AB and BA. That's all. Here the length was 2. So 2 factorial is also 2. So that's why we got 2 permutations. Right? So now what do we need to do is that we need to check that is any of these permutation is present as a substring in S2 or not, right? So one approach for this can be that whatever string is given to me in S1, I will find all its permutations, all the possible permutations. So for example, in ABC, we have these many permutations. So I will find all of them. And then I'll check them one by one. I'll check whether this ABC is present as a substring in S2 or not. If ACB is present as a substring in S2 or not. If at any point it is present, I'll return true. Otherwise, when I have traversed all the permutations, at the end I'll return false. Now the problem with this approach is that for this approach, you will first have to find out all the permutations of the string. And the maximum length of our string that is given to us in the question constraints are 10 to the power 4. So when you will find the number of permutations for this particular case, that will be 10 to the power 4 factorial. And when we find the permutations of a string, the complexity for that is order of n factorial. So in this case, it will be order of 10 to the power 4 factorial, which will be a very large number. So this solution won't get accepted. So we have to think of a better approach. So let's remove this. So now I am having S1 as AB. Its permutations are AB and BA. And I need to find whether any of these is present as a substring in S2 or not. So if you see here, my S2 string is EIDBA and OOO, right? If I check for AB, what I'll do, so these are two characters, right? So in my S2 also, at every time, I will keep checking the substrings which are of length 2 and I'll compare them with AB. So first I'll check EI. Is EI equals to AB? No. Then ID. Is ID equals to AB? No. Then I'll check DB. This is also not equal. Then I'll check BA. This is also not equal. Then AO not equal again. OO not equal again. And OO also not equal. Then we'll check for BA. So again EI not equals to BA. ID not equals to BA. DB not equals to BA. BA is equals to BA. Right? So now the problem here is, for checking BA equals to BA, we need to identify this BA. We don't know out of all these permutations which one will be present in S2, right? So we need to avoid finding all the permutations of this string. So if you closely have a look here, instead of comparing the entire strings together, that is that BA should be equals to BA, instead of doing this, can we check that whatever characters we are having in S1, that is AB, are those characters present in S2 also in any of its substring of length 2. So meaning, if in my S1, the count of A is 1 and the count of B is also 1, right? So if in your S2, you are able to find a substring of length 2, right? Which is having the same frequency, of A and B, then can you say that the permutation of S1 is present in S2? Yes, we can. Because if I have written A and B here and B and A here, both the frequencies are 1 and 1, then that means this one can be changed to BA and we can say that, okay, BA is present in my S2 as a substring, right? So we have jotted down this problem to whatever characters we are having in AB will have their count somewhere stored, and then whatever was the length of my S1, I'll check all the substrings of that length in my S2 and I'll see how many unique characters that S2 substring is having and what is their corresponding frequencies. If they are equal to this, then we can say that this is the required permutation string. So now how are we going to approach this? So now in the question, it is given to us that the characters in S1 and S2 will be from small a to small z. That is, total of 26 characters will be present in our strings. So what we'll do for maintaining the count of frequency of all the characters, we will create two vectors C1 and C2 of size 26. Both will be of size 26 because we have 26 alphabets. So basically 0th index will be denoting the count of A, the first index will be denoting the count of B, and so on, right? Then after this, we will store the frequencies of each characters in these particular vectors. Now, for S1, it's never going to change, right? S1 is always AB, so we can initially count the frequencies of all the characters in S1 and store in C1. So it will be this will be our array. So this will be A, this will be B, then C, and so on till Z, right? So this will be storing 1 and 1 here and rest all will be 0. And similarly, we will have the vector for C2 as well, which is our S2. So initially, it is containing 0 always, 0, 0, 0, and Z, right? Now, how are we going to update the frequency count for S2? That we'll see. So, if you saw when we were considering EIDVA0, then when we were comparing AB in this string, we were taking two lengths substring together. First we took EI and then we took ID, right? So the first string was EI, the first substring was EI and the next was ID. Then when we took ID, after that we took this DB, right? DB. So if you see at every point, what are we doing is that in our old substring, we are adding another character at the end and whichever was the first character that we are removing. So in this EI, one more character got added. So it became EID and the first character got removed. So it remained ID. Here also in ID, one more character got added, the next character, which is B, and the first character got removed, which is I. So we got DB, right? So that means when we are comparing these two length substrings with our S1, at every point we are adding the next character and we are removing the first character of our substring, right? So when we are looping in S2, we only need to update the frequency of the characters that we are adding and removing. So if let's suppose I was at ID, I was at this particular substring. So my I was 1 at that time and D was also 1 at that time. When I changed ID to DB, at that time I am adding B, right? So the value of B earlier was 0, now it will become 1. And I have removed I. So now I should become 0. So now if you see, in our substring also we have DB with 1 frequency, and in our array also we will have BD with 1 frequency, right? So this is how at every point in our iteration we can identify that what are the unique elements in this substring and what are their corresponding frequencies, right? So what I said, every point, whatever character we added, that character's frequency will be increased by 1, and the character which is removed, that character's frequency will be decreased by 1, right? So now before we enter our loop, the first substring's frequencies should already be updated, right? Only then we will be able to add this D and remove this E. Because initially, if we just start in the loop, then all the frequencies are 0, right? So at that time, what are you going to add and remove? So when initially we updated the frequencies for S1, we'll also update the frequency for C2 only for the first substring of length equal to S1. So we'll update only for EI, right? So this would be, this would look somewhat like this. So we'll have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So this I will be 1 and this E will be 1. Rest all will be 0, right? Now, when we'll move forward, we will loop from I equals to 0 till the length of S2 minus length of L1. Why we are doing this? Because at the end we need to consider this length substring, right? So we need to traverse only till here. That's why we are doing L2 minus L1. L2 is the length of S2 and L1 is the length of S1. So we'll iterate from 0 to L2 minus L1 and then we'll check whether our two vectors are equal or not, right? At this point, if you see in C1, A is 1, B is 1, others are 0. And in C2, E is 1 and I is 1, others are 0. So that means C1 and C2 are not equal, right? But when they are equal, we'll return true, right? Now in our case, it was not true. So now what we'll do is that whatever the new character we will be adding, that will be increased by 1 and the character that will be removing will be decreased by 1. So what we'll do is, in C2, what we'll do, S2 of I minus A minus minus. So what are we doing is, so when we started our loop, we are at index I equals to 0, which is this index. And when we are considering our next substring ID, that time we have to remove the first element, which is E, right? And our I is also pointing to this element. So basically, I would always be pointing to the first character in the substring that you are considering right now. So that's why we are considering S2 of I here. We are removing this, so this has to be decreased by 1. So we have done S2 of I minus A. So see, this S2 of I is a character. It is not a number. But the C2 is a vector and the vector indices are always number. They are never character. So that's why we minus it by A. So in this case, our S2 of 0 was E. So it will do E minus A, right? So it will give you 4. So this will basically subtract the ASCII value from E and you will get the value as 4. So it will do C2 of 4 minus minus. So this was 0th index, this was first, second, third, fourth. So here this will become 0 now. Right? And then what we'll do? We'll do C2 of S2 of I plus L1 minus a plus plus. Now here what are we doing is, we need to add this character D, right? Now for this D, the S1's length was 2. Now the next element we have to add, our I was 0, this D is present at index 2. So if we'll add the length of S1 in I, we'll get 2. So that means we need to add the I plus L1's element of S2, right? So we'll do S2 of I plus L1 minus A, right? So this will give you the index of D. This will give you the index of D, which is 3. So it will do C2 of 3 plus plus. So now this D will become 1, right? So now it will go to the next iteration. It will check, is C1 equals to C2? So they are not equal. So it will come here. So now at this point we were considering ID. So it will add B now and it will remove I now. So B will be incremented by 1, right? And I will be decremented by 0. So this will become 0. Next, in the next iteration, now it will again check, is C1 equals to C2? So it is not. Then it will again come here. Now at this point, what we are considering? We are considering D and B. So we will add A and will remove B. So now A's frequency will be decreased by 1. So it will become 0. Now it will go to the next iteration. It will again check, is C1 equals to C2? Now at this point, if you see that they are same. Why? Because A's value here is 1. Here also it is 1. B's value here is 1. Here also it is 1. And for all the rest characters, it is 0. So now at this point, our C1 is equals to C2. So we will return true. Right? Now at the end, when we have iterated over entire S2, at the end, what are we going to do? So we can't simply return false here. So if you see that, if our S2 was like this, CAB, right? Then at that point, we have this permutation. So in this case, our answer should be true, right? But if you will apply this logic and you will traverse this, then at the last, this B's value will be updated. B will become 1 and C will become 0 and A was already 1. At this point, C1, C2 would be equal. But when it will go to the next iteration, there is no element present here, right? Our loop will get finished. So at the end also, before returning, we'll check that if C1 is equals to C2. If it is, then we'll return true. Otherwise, we'll return false. Okay. At the end also, we need to check this before returning, right? So now let's code this. So now we'll create two variables here. L1, which will store the length of S1 string, and L2, which will store the length of S2 string, right? Now, tell me one thing. If the length of S1 is greater than the length of S2, in that case, can the answer ever come true? See, we said that the permutation of S1 should be present as a substring in S2, right? Now, if the S1 is already bigger than S2, then it will never be present as a substring in S2, right? So, if our L1 is greater than L2, in that case, our answer will always be false, right? Now, we'll create two vectors for storing the count of frequencies. So, C1, it will be of length 26 and initially all the values will store 0. And then another one, C2, this will also be of length 26 and initially it will store 0. Then we'll loop in S1. So int I equals to 0, I less than L1, I plus plus. Why we are looping in L1, I'll tell you. So we'll update C1 here. So C1 of S1 of I minus A plus plus. We are increasing the count of whatever is the character at S1 of I. Now, I said that before we enter in our loop, we will update the frequencies for the first substring in our S2, right? And the first substring will be of length L1 only. So that's why here we are iterating till L1. So we'll update C2 also. So C2 of S2 of I minus A plus plus. So now we have the count of all the characters in S1 in our C1 vector and the count of the characters in the first substring of S2 in our vector C2. Now we will loop from I equals to 0 till I less than L2 minus L1, right? I told you why we are doing this. Then inside this, first we'll check if C1 is equals to C2. If it is, then we'll return true. And if it is not, then we'll update the frequencies. So C2 of S2 of I minus A minus minus, and the one we are adding, that will be C2 of S2 of I plus L1 minus A and plus plus, right? Then at the end, we'll return C1 equals to C2, right? Now let's run this. So our test cases are accepted. Now we'll try to submit it. So it got submitted. Thank you so much for watching.